Right, everybody, it's Ashes Eve. What a time to be alive, as the first test is about to get underway in Perth, in Australia, and that's exactly where I am, in a bit of a makeshift setup. And well, I couldn't call it a studio, but it's actually just somebody else's living room. So look, I'm excited. I've got tickets to day 1 and 2. Can't wait to get in the ground. I can't wait to just start making some cool content. I'm gonna go not behind the scenes. I'm gonna make basically a vlog of documenting my experience and some other bits and bobs as well. But I want to talk about the first test before we actually get to it. Big question is, can Australia win the Ashes again in Australia? They only need to draw in order to retain the urn. They obviously did that in the UK last time out. And England last time they won in Australia, which was that famous series back in 2010, 2011, back when the players were doing the sprinkler on the outfield at the MCG, back when Alistair Cook was churning the runs out. This team have a chance, a real genuine chance. And I'm so excited for the cricket to get going. Right, Perth Stadium or Optus, I think it's now only called Perth Stadium, but I'm not entirely sure. Firstly, I've walked around the outside and it is phenomenal. It's enormous. It's a coliseum. It's massive. It holds 60,000 seats. 60,000 people will be in there day 1, 2, and 3. Because those first 3 days are a complete and utter sellout here in Western Australia. England have never played there. This is the first time England have stepped foot inside the stadium, the new stadium at Perth. Every single game before that was played at the WACA, the old ground, the famous ground, the one where the records are, the history, and all of that amazing stuff, which is where I'm going this afternoon actually. But this one's new. This one is new, and we've seen pictures of Joe Root walking out into the middle, standing there in his socks, kind of just gauging a sense of the size of the space and the dimensions of the ground and the magnitude of it. It's so impressive. It is impressive. Does that come into an advantage for Australia, the fact they've played there? Probably, yeah. It wasn't played 4 years ago, probably something to do with COVID, but they ended up in Hobart for that 5th test rather than having won it over in Perth. So yeah, a new look. There's probably going to be more England fans in there, I think. Genuinely, I think there are going to be more England fans in there than there was going to be Australians. It's the shortest flight over from the UK. It's closest. And there are a lot of English guys or Poms or whatever you want to call us kicking around. So might actually feel like a bit of a home test match for England in Perth, which is quite mad, isn't it? Everybody is so excited and so swept up by this kind of Bazball fever, this Bazball nation. So yeah, people have travelled, and they travelled in numbers. Even the Australians, they didn't want to start in Perth. There was a quote the other day from Mitch Starc saying that we wanted to start in Brisbane. And I'm not surprised. Like, pink ball test match in Brisbane where they never ever lose. Why would they not want to start there? But Cricket Australia and the schedulers have decided to go a different way around. They've decided to give the first test to Perth. And I think that could be a nice little tick in the right box for England. Right. Australia and Australia's squad. We don't know what their final squad is. We know what their kind of first test squad is, but they haven't kind of narrowed it down from there. Here's my thoughts on the 11. Here's how I think Australia should line up. This is being recorded before any confirmation of that team has been given by Cricket Australia. So I'm going to go for Usman Khawaja, Jake Weatherald, Marnus Labuschagne, Steve Smith, Travis Head, Cam Green, Alex Carey, Mitchell Starc. And then I don't know which way round these will go, but Brendan Doggett, Scott Boland, Nathan Lyon to round their 11 out. That would be the way that I would line up if I had any impact on the Australian 11 whatsoever. Unfortunately, Australian fans, I don't. I have no impact on it whatsoever, but why would you pick Weatherald in a squad if you're then not going to play him? That is the bit that I'm stuck on. Marnus hasn't worked at the top of the order. Jake Weatherald is a proper opening batter. Yes, the numbers in first class cricket don't look incredible, but it's been a really good patch up to now for Weatherald. So get him out there, give him the opportunity. He is a proper opening batter, and then put Marnus in his kind of proper place at number 3. That's the way I look at it. There's one option. The one option though that I think they could go that is viable. Without Hazelwood, without Cummins, is there a school of thought that Australia go, let's not lose the first test? That's a very un-Australian way to look at life. They're normally like front foot forwards, take the advantage, press home, just really get going. But will they blink about this Bazball side? Will they kind of admit the fact that they might need to extend that batting order a little bit? And if they do, does that then mean the only way they can do it is if Webster comes in and say bats 7 and 8 with Carey in there and Green, and kind of they sort that 6, 7, 8 around. Cam Green is fit. He's been bowling 140 kilometers per hour. I've been in Australia for 5 minutes, and now I apparently have no ability to decide what mile an hour is. So he's fit, he's firing, he's ready to go. Bo Webster is a very, very good seam bowling option. He's took a hatful of wickets in the Shield in the last round, and then you'd go with Stark and Boland with Lyon as your 3 kind of frontline bowlers, whilst batting all the way down to number 9 with Stark at 9. That's a way they could go. I don't believe they will, but that is another option. There we go. There's my thoughts. There's my thoughts on the Australian team. I haven't got anything else to add, but that's it. I'd like to see Brendan Doggett have a go, actually. I think he's quite exciting, and I think he'll probably do quite well. The other thing as well is Perth is notoriously quite tricky to bat on. So with that extra batter in the 11, they just provide themselves a little bit more kind of security than what they would do as if they went with Stark at number 8. Although Stark is a very, very handy lower order batter, they just get a little bit more if they went for the Bo Webster. England announced their 12-man squad yesterday for this first test match. We know what it is. We know what the top 7 is. It's going to be Crawley, Duckett, Pope, Root, Brooke, Stokes and Smith. There was that question. That's 7, isn't it? Well done, Daniel. Well counted. There was that question about Jacob Bethell coming in there at number 3. Ollie Pope went and scored 190 in the warm-up game. And despite the PR kind of conversation from Rob Key with regards to who's going to bat at number 3, there can't have been any doubt, really, that it was going to be Ollie Pope. He's been in such good form. So there's the number 7. I genuinely believe that is a Ashes winning top 7. Then the bowlers. There's 4 seamers in there, which is Gus Atkinson, Bryden Cast, Jofra Archer, Mark Wood, and the spinner of Shoaib Bashir. Now, a lot of people have been calling for just all-out pace attack, which is completely reckless in my opinion. You can't surely go into a 5-day test match without a spinner. Just in case it's not as kind of lively as what they think it's going to be and it's a bit flat. And then we go and flog 4 seamers with no spin option at all. So for me, Shoaib Bashir has to play. He has to be there. He has to provide an option for Stokes to hold an end up, which we've yet to see in his career. But he has to be there and he has to do that job. Which seamers miss out? Gus Atkinson is 8. And then it gets tricky between Cass, Archer and Wood. Again, you're getting carried away. If you're going Archer and Wood, you're getting carried away. England could get carried away. They could. I believe they could. I'd go Cass at 9. I'd go Wood at 10 and Bashir at 11, and Archer misses out on this first test. That would be my 11 for this England first test. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you don't. Win the toss and bowl first. That's what history says. That's what India did so well last time out, and that's how Jasprit Bumrah completely decimated that Australian top order. So there's that job ticked off. The weather, well, un-Australian-like. There could actually be a bit of moisture around. So Saturday, I believe there's a chance there's kind of showers around. Potentially today as well, actually, just to liven that surface up. Does that then make that surface a little bit trickier to bat on for longer if it's not just being baked under this kind of hot Western Australian sun? It probably does. Toss maybe then isn't as important if the wicket is going to be livelier the longer that the test match goes on, but still, win the toss, have a bowl first, get on with it, get the opposition out there and just try and skittle them for as little as possible and let that pitch kind of flatten out as the test match goes on. My prediction: Australia missing those 2 players. I really try, genuinely I try and make sure that my heart doesn't take over my head too much in not just cricket, but life generally. And I can't help but feel that my heart is starting to just overtake my head and go further forward here. I just feel England are going 1-0 up. I just feel they're going 1-0 up in the series. Let me know who you think is going to win this first test here at Perth Stadium in Western Australia. I can't wait to get there. I can't wait to show you some of the content that I'm going to make. I'm so excited. Bucket list, genuine bucket list experience this. So I'll see you soon.